Today we are going to begin with a new chapter from Standard 11th, Maharashtra State Board Syllabus, chapter number 4, Cyber Law. Let us begin. It is common to use smartphones and computers nowadays to do our day-to-day work. Okay? Nowadays, most of our work is based on internet, use of internet, online shopping, online banking, even online education. Due to all this COVID scenario, lot of people need smartphone and computers in their day-to-day life. Now, many different type of records has to be maintained. It's not only about the professional work. It is also the domestic work for which you need to maintain lot of files, lot of PDF files and many different files in your storage devices. Okay, now many of the files as well as the accounts, personal accounts, whether it is financial account or social media account, they are at risk of getting hacked. This is very common problem which we face in our cyber world or the virtual world of internet. And that is why a thorough knowledge about cyber law is necessary. So in our real life, we have such criminals. Okay. So in the virtual world of internet, we also have cyber criminals. And to counter the cyber criminals, there are definitely laws available in the constitution. So we must be aware about that and what are the nature of such crimes and how the laws are available to prevent it. So that is about the entire chapter, and this is a very important chapter as per awareness point of view. Okay, so once you are aware about the concepts, kindly inform to your loved ones about it. Okay, so let us continue. So some points are given in the textbook. Now I have made the presentation using textual points as well as which are the information. So most of the information available on the presentations, as you can see, is not owned by me. I will definitely clearly say these are the points from textbook and material from internet. Now, different type of theft and cyber crimes we may experience, people may experience. Okay. Now, see examples are provided. Credit card theft, cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorism means there is an entire group who share a common agenda and they are working together to propagate misinformation using internet. Okay, so agenda may be anything. Okay, against a government or against a community, anything. Okay, and there is not one person. There is a group of lot of people who share common ideology and they start spreading misinformation. So that is called cyber terrorism. Then electronic bullying and stalking. So all these problems, these are the cyber crimes. Okay, most of the cyber crimes they lead to um, financial loss for the individual as well as the organization. And there are some nature of cybercrime which affects people psychologically. Okay, so one of such type of cybercrime is electronic bullying or cyberbullying and stalking, which we will learn in detail. Then there is hacking for fun. Okay, people start gaining knowledge from random sources. Okay, they always look for shortcuts, and there are people who provide a lot of such information. Um, and they don't care about the consequences, how it is going to affect the people who are not serious about the work of hacking. So hacking is generally considered very cool. Okay, but actually hacking is just not done for fun and for or to cause harm. Hacking is also done to help the society, help the nation. Okay, so hacking generally, which is portrayed as something very dark, but actually it is not completely dark. It is a career nowadays. Ethical hacking is a career nowadays, and a lot of different type of hackers are available who are helping the organization to strengthen their networking. There are hackers who work with government as well as military organization. Okay, but there are people who don't take the field very seriously and start hacking to cause harm or just for fun. So that is again adding different problems, and most of them are coming under the category of cyber crime. Then identity theft. Okay, that means posing as some different person and trying to earn money. Okay, so latest case we have seen including the celebrities like Jacqueline Fernandez and Nora Fatihi. They were given lot of expensive gifts by a person, but how did the person earn so much money? Because the person fooled a different person, means the victim, from whom they earned more than 200 crores of rupees. Okay, so they did fake calls. So the criminal did fake calls to the victim and said that they belong to some government some ministry. Okay, they belong to some ministry and they are aware that the lady's husband is facing some criminal issue and that needs to be cleared. The charges need to be cleared, and posing as a government official, the person was able to steal lot of money from that woman. Okay, and he was quite interested in dating Bollywood celebrities, so he offered them expensive gifts. So that identity theft, that means taking somebody else's identity and doing crimes. So that is identity theft. So we should be always be careful about the identity that we have on social media, the accounts we have on social media that shouldn't be hacked. Okay, and if it is in any danger of getting hacked, then definitely every person is having danger of getting their social media accounts hacked. We always see the headlines which tells that so and so number of so and so thousands of accounts got hacked. Okay, that means none of the accounts are safe, so we must take special precaution, not be very careless, not share the passwords. How the passwords has to be created, strong passwords has to be created. Antivirus softwares has to be used, SSL protocol has to be used, VPN should be used. All these precautions must be taken. Then next we have this network intrusions. That means private networks of companies, organization, or Wi-Fi network at home are um, there are hackers who intrude. Okay, they just find the loophole, they break the security and enter into the network to spy on the data. Then we have software piracy, and not only these bullet points which are mentioned over here, there are many different type of crimes which are faced by people. Okay, now this is a report provided by Hindustan Times. Okay, now see the states which face lot of cybercrime. That means from Uttar Pradesh we can see 48 crimes have been reported. From Maharashtra 44. That means the dark colored, maroon colored regions, maroon colored state, they face lot of cyber crime. And the rate of crime which is available as per year 2020. Okay, see, the crimes are actually increasing. It is gradually increasing. Okay, so not necessarily the areas which are shown in lighter shade, okay, who have faced less number of crimes and they have reported less number of cases are not in danger of facing higher number of crimes. That is definitely not the matter. This is a statistic showing the number of cases which are filed. So there are so many experiences which are not reported, for which FIR are not filed. So lot of things are not getting reported. So what about that? There is no record of such experience. Okay, so this is just about the reported cases. So definitely we need to be very serious about use of computer, use of our computing devices. Okay, the resources that we own now. Resources, when we talk about, we are definitely relating to computer, smartphone, tablet, and other featured smartphone, featured phones also. Okay, so we must protect our data the way we protect our health, our mental health, our property, our family. Okay, the way we take utmost precautions to take care about all our loved ones as ourselves, our belongings, our property. Similarly, we must be taking care of the data, about the resources, about usage of internet. Okay, now this is a formal definition which is provided by Government of India, and Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology has provided this definition. I'll just quickly read it out. Cyber law yields legal recognition to electronic documents and a structure to support e-filing and e-commerce transactions, and also provide a legal structure to reduce and check cyber crime. That means cyber crime is defined as it has laws to counter. Okay, it has a legal structure to counter, to check the cyber crimes. Not only that, it has the entire mechanism of e-filing, then e-commerce transactions. Now, e-commerce is your entire online shopping. Okay, not only an online shopping, online banking also. Okay, then share marketing, which is done on, then investments which are done online. Okay, so nowadays so many trading apps are available, all these are covered. All this e-filing and e-commerce transaction are covered to protect as per cyber law. They are covered under protection as per cyber law, and there are ways to counter such cyber crimes. So that is the definition provided by Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, our Government of India. Now, as per textbook, 3 points are given. So, cyber law is the area of law that deals with the internet's relationship to technological and electronic elements, including computers, software, hardware, and information system. Very technical definition, that means all the devices which are mentioned over here, computers, software, hardware, and information system, all are covered. That means any harm faced by a computer or any software or any hardware or any kind of information system. Okay, for that, cyber law has proper mechanism to counter such crime. Okay, then next definition, cyber law is the part of overall legal system. The term legal system, that means 100% it's available in our constitution. So cyber law is the part of overall legal system that deals with internet, cyberspace, and their respective legal issues. So legal issues regarding usage of internet, the cyberspace. Okay, so that is the second definition, easier definition. Okay, now the third one is saying cyber law covers a fairly broad area encompassing several subtopics, including freedom of expression, access to and usage of internet, and online privacy. Okay, so any threat against freedom of expression or the usage of internet or online privacy is definitely liable for punishment. Okay, there are punishment, there are fines for doing such crimes, but that need to be reported. Okay, that needs to be reported. Without reporting, no action can be taken. Now, what are the advantages of cyber law? Definitely, there was a need. Okay? There was a need, and that is why cyber law has been made. Okay, made available in the law. So, definitely, need was there. Now, how cyber law has proved to be very advantageous? Nowadays, we freely use smartphone, we freely use internet, and most of the time, we feel safe on internet. We feel safe while doing online transactions. of any nature. Okay, whether it is for banking, online shopping, ticket reservation, we feel it is safe. Okay, most of the time it is safe if you use safer methods. Definitely, if you use safer ways of doing online transaction, it is a safe place, and that is only due to cyber law. So people can perform transactions over the internet through credit cards without fear of misuse. But that has to be done through proper methods. Proper ways need to be followed. There are rules. Okay, such rules if you follow, then you are definitely safe on internet, and that is an advantage of cyber law. The IT Act offers the much needed legal framework so that information solely on the ground, that is in the form of electronic records. So the electronic records available on internet as well as on the computers are taken as an evidence. Okay, act according to IT Act. Then IT Act empowers government departments to accept filing, creating, and retention of official documents in the digital format. Okay, so a lot of things are digitized. Okay, many documents are available in digital format. So that is an empowerment. Okay, it is easy to maintain record, check records, but proper maintenance should be done, proper security should be done. For that, government takes responsibility also. Then, IT Act has also proposed a legal framework for the authentication and origin of electronic records or communications through digital signature. Okay, but nowadays digital signature has been replaced with electronic signature. A lot of apps are also available to do electronic signature. So government notices and every the gazettes that we see. Okay, so at the end the authorized person signs. So that is in digital format. So legal framework is available to do all these procedures. Okay, and that is why IT Act is very beneficial. Now, IT Act is one of the act which is available in cyber law. So, cyber law is a very the you can say it is a very vast concept. Okay, under cyber law there is one such section known as IT Act, which take care about electronic records, authenticity of the electronic records. So, IT Act is responsible for that. Okay, and we can do online transaction, then maintain records, checking the authenticity of the records. Authenticity means originality. Okay, whether the sender and receiver are original or not, that is taken care through digital signature. All these are formulated in IT Act, but IT Act is just one part of cyber law. The scope of cyber law is very vast. So now next we are going to discuss about morals. We have to discuss about two definitions known as morals and ethics, which are a part of our personality. You can say every person is raised in a family background. Okay, the person is raised in the school, the person gains a lot of moral values from the society, from the family, as well as from the school. Now when we say society, definitely family as well as school comes in it. So what is the definition of moral? So moral is the standards of behavior, principles of right and wrong behavior. Okay, so society has trained us, family as well as school has trained us to identify what is right and what is wrong. Okay, it is very important to differentiate between right behavior and wrong behavior and always follow the right behavior. So, morals are dictated by society, culture, or religion, while ethics are chosen by a person himself, which governs his life. So, to have ethics or to build ethics, morals, formation of morals are very important. Okay, if the person has very strong morals, the person becomes ethically good. Okay, so formation of morals is important to build ethics, that we can say. So here, the second statement in the definition says morals are dictated by society, culture, or religion, while ethics are chosen by person. That means, though the society, family, school has lot of influence, but at the end, the person chooses what to do and what not to do. Okay, so that forms ethical behavior. Now, examples of moral: being honest and trustworthy, being courageous. Such good values are always taught by family, society, as well as our school. Okay, being honest and trustworthy, being courageous, never give up, adding value to the world, being patient, and many other good qualities. They are the part of morals. Now, next we will discuss about ethics. So, also called moral philosophy is the discipline governed, also called moral philosophy. So, ethics are also called as moral philosophy. Now, what is philosophy? Philosophy is ideas. Philosophy means, in very simple terms, I will say ideas. There are many different philosophy, and we have many different philosophers also. Okay, so philosophy is generally collection of ideas and a particular idea which a person follows and leads the life according to that idea. Okay, so we have philosophers, very famous philosophers from western countries as well as eastern countries. In India also we have a lot of philosophers. Okay, Swami Vivekanand, an excellent, an exemplary of ethical person. Okay, having very good moral philosophy, and nobody is going to doubt about that. Okay, then we have our APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, I don't think so there is any person who has any negative thing to say about APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, so that is known as philosophy. So such great people have done so much good for the society. They have sacrificed a lot of things for the society just to show some philosophical values. Okay, and lot of people, we have followers and everybody follows them because they have set good example, they have given good message. So that is the entire idea of philosophy. Now, what are ethics? Ethics are also called as moral philosophy, good moral philosophy, and it is the discipline concerned with what is morally good and bad, right or wrong. Okay, now, in day to day life, how we can relate to moral and ethics? I'll give you an example. For example, an accident occurred on road. Okay, there will be many onlookers who will just see, they will sigh, they will say, "Oh no, very poor situation." But there will be only very few people who will offer help. Okay, they will try to offer first aid to the person, or at least if the nature of accident is very serious, so the person, some people will try to reach out the ambulance. Okay, or the hospital, they will call the hospital for quick help. Okay, so people who are willing to help quickly as per the situation, they understand the situation and they try to help the person, the needy person, they have better ethics. Okay, other than the people who are just watching the situation and giving some expressions. All right, so you can say the ethical behavior according to that situation was giving quick help to the person who was in danger. All right, so that is how we relate to moral and ethics. Now, example of ethical behavior in the workplace include, now workplace ethics, there are different varieties of ethics: workplace ethics, business ethics. Okay, then in school we have code of conduct for students, for teachers. Okay, so these are known as set of ethics which matter from place to place or the nature of work. Now here example of workplace is given. So workplace ethics are obeying the company's rules, effective communication, taking responsibility, accountability, professionalism, trust and mutual respect for your colleagues. Now, ethics are something which is, you can say, universal. Okay. Now, doesn't matter wherever you are, effective communication is important, taking responsibility is important, obeying the rules of the organization is important, then showing professionalism, mutual respect among the colleagues. So all these are universal qualities. It is same. Most of the qualities in the ethics are same. Okay. little bit changes are there depending upon the situation and the place. So ethics, we can say the nature of ethics is more universal. Now, some nice details are available from such websites, okay, which clearly distinguishes between the values. Now, values you can relate to moral, so we can just say it is talking about moral versus ethics. So, how moral and ethics are different? First, let's talk about values or the morals. So, morals always ask what is important and what should I achieve, and it may differ from person to person, definitely. Okay, now people who were watching that scenario of accident, okay, some people they offered help, and other people they may be thinking that I do not know the person. What if the person is a criminal? Okay, so should I help a criminal? All right, so they may be having lot of thoughts. So what that person, the onlooker, have done, they according to the person they have done because they did not they did not choose to involve with any unknown person. Okay, and the people who offered help, they didn't think any uh, didn't have such any thoughts like the person is criminal or not. I do not know the person, but if the person is needy, I will help. Okay, so the people who helped, that was their idea, and people who did not help, they may have their own ideas. Okay, so morals and the values they differ from person to person. And the next thing is motivate. What is the motivation behind such thoughts? Okay, motivation is definitely the family, um, the educational environment from which they are brought up, as well as society, religion also. That is the motivation. Now, ethics always thinks about what is right. Okay, what is the right behavior? What is the right action to be taken? Then, what is the correct action? Usually considered universal, as I told you, and constraints. Okay. Now, another example I will give you. Let's talk about there is a celebration and young people are there. So drinking is there in the celebration. So people may think I'm young. Let's celebrate. I always work hard. There is only one day to celebrate, so I'll drink. No problem. No issues. Okay. So that may be a decision, but a right decision is not to drink too much. Okay, and if it is bad for your health, then totally avoid it. And if you are going to drive, totally avoid it. If you are with family or any people who are dependent on you, totally avoid it. So ethical behavior actually constrain people. There are a lot of thoughts going on how it is going to affect other people, or not only other people, how it is going to affect me. So ethics is something that always constrain, it always restrain. Okay, always try to stop from doing reckless activities. And morals or values, they are totally different. It means what is the motivation behind taking any decision, that is moral or value. So this is the differentiation. Now another many websites are there who are giving very nice such descriptions about ethics versus values or ethics versus morals. Okay, this is one of them. You can just have a look and understand, it's almost same. Okay, so if you want, you can pause the video and just read. Now, I think so. We will stop here today and continue with the next topic in the next video. Thank you for joining.